Hi, today we're going to have a look at the MCB, that's a Mission Control Board. That's the second application that we make, and it works with our main application, Securithor, as a way to track staff and to dispatch them in response to alarm events. So, in order to do this, we're going to show you from Securithor on this side here, and when needed, I'm going to show you the Android app that I have connected. So on the Android app, what you need from the Playstore is you need to download the Mission Control Board app, the tag control for MCB as well if you want to dispatch people to install tags, NFCs, QR codes at the checkpoints. Here in Mission Control Board, that's the one that I have here, so I have the app installed. You're going to need some credentials like IP address and port of your Securithor in order for the app to send the location of the bearer and to receive the missions from Securithor. On Securithor side, so we have Securithor already installed. We're going to install on top of it MCB. So it needs to be installed after because MCB uses the Securithor database, and it's going to install on your desktop two icons, the server and the dashboard. So the server I can find here, and when we start the server, it's already in start mode. So if I need to make any changes, I just press stop here, and I can go change the settings of the server. And when I come back, then I need to start it. Important things with the server is the language of the server will dictate how the welcome letter to your staff, language of the welcome letter to your staff. This is also where you will tell them about the address that they need to write in their app here in the settings, and the port as well. So email settings, if you want to send reports from MCB upon completion of a checkpoint. Your backup that are specific for MCB, they are different from the backup from Securithor. SMS settings, that is if you want to use a Lantronix M113 modem, it will basically do the same thing as the email settings. FTP settings, that's something that we will provide with the installation. That's a server in the middle to get the images from MCB and have them downloaded by the guide that is viewing the mission. And of course, Securithor settings, we need to tell MCB where is Securithor, where is the database. And the last setting that we need to tell MCB is the account. So that's the reference account that we use for the panic button from the MCB app. The default is account 1000, but if you already use your account 1000 for a customer, you can use anything else. So it's hexadecimal, so 0 to 9 and A to F are admissible. So when you're done with the settings, just don't forget to restart the server so the communication with the app and the base station will be up and running. The second piece of software that we installed with MCB is this one. It's the dashboard that we have here. So it starts here with the login, and the settings that we have here are basically the language of operation of MCB and the database settings. So in this case, I'm using MCB on the same machine as I have Securithor, so localhost and port 6234 is the standard one that we use for SQL communication. The default user and password when we log in is admin, and the password is password. So of course that can be changed afterward. So that starts what we call the dashboard, where you have all the sections of MCB. You have here the locations of the staff, the map that shows the checkpoints and the location of staff. And in this last window here, we will have the jobs, the ongoing jobs, with filters for missions, tours, and task. Task is when we send someone to install NFC tag or a QR code. At the top here, connection status for Securithor, so the service between Securithor and MCB is running. Our MCB server is running. If it was not the case, we would have a striking icon here. Our chat system, the notification system, and I'm the operator from Securithor that is installed here. So some more settings that we can find here. This is the basic color, but if you would like to change the color, you have a choice. Some settings for notification if you want to hear the sounds or not. The map, you can set the default location of the map here, so that's the Google style notification. So if we go to here, so if you set this this map, and if I copy this here, I will have the map center exactly where I have here. The zoom, in this case, it's here in the URL. So higher number will actually be very close, and a lower number will be a far away view, a more global view. So usually 12, 13 is good for a citywide view. Your company info, your company logo is set here, and for the company logo you just roll over and you can select the file that you will use. So it's a square format. It's a fairly compact logo size, so well, try to get like something that looks like a app icon. Some presets are here. If we give time to our staff to accept a mission, that's where we will define the basic setting. Can be overridden afterward, but that's where we set it. And the tours, again, if we give them time to accept the tour, that's going to be the default here. The difference between mission and a tour: mission is usually a single shot, single event that is sent by Securithor, and a tour will be an itinerary that is set from MCB, and we're going to see this later on. So first thing, let's have a look at how we set up our staff. So that's in this section, and I'm going to go here to my profile because I know it's already set, and we're going to save a lot of time doing this. So all the details that are pertinent to the employee are here, and one of the most important is the confirmation of presence. So in this here, I set a 10-minute interval, so every 10 minutes MCB app will ask our guy to confirm that he has the phone in hand. And the last thing that we need to do for our employee is the skill set. So in the skill set, we decide what is pertinent to this employee, and so when we do our intervention and we're looking for a specific skill, while we have it for, we can filter for employees. In order to create a user, so when you add a user for the mobile staff, that's going to be an employee. Operators are basically the operators coming from Securithor, so unless you have the standalone version of MCB, you don't need to create an operator. So we're going to add employees, and you have a certain number of employees. When you purchase MCB, it's 5, 10, 25, 50, 100, and 200. And So until you reach that number, you can create as many employees as you want, and of course you can delete the one that do not work with you anymore. So our employee is created, and we're going to go into the MCB app, and then we're going to log in. Oh, let's do this first here. So the location of Securithor is needed here. The port that is needed as well. If you are using one of the FLIC buttons for the panic button, so the FLIC button is actually this kind of button, and you can use it with a holder here. So when you use the FLIC button with the MCB app, you can trigger the panic signal that is in MCB without opening the app. So I'm going to do this here. I'm going to pair a new button. So I'm basically holding the button in place for 4 or 5 seconds, and it will pair with my app. So I have a new button here, and when I log in, so it's going to open on the jobs. But if I want to go back to the dashboard where I have my vehicle and when I have the panic button here, so if I press the panic button, and it's a long press for like just a bit over 1 second, it's going to enable the panic mode. I can disable it as well but I need to enter the app to disable it. And when we go into Securithor, in the traffic, we have this alarm that came from my app, and that is very specific, and it comes with the location that is sent along the panic button. And it's exactly the same that we have here in the MCB in the dashboard. So in the app per se, so the avatar that we're using comes from from the employee registration. So you can add a picture from the base station when you create a new employee. As for the car that we have here, so I can either reserve one of the cars that we have in MCB from the app, so I can reserve one of the cars here, but we're going to look in the dashboard here at the car. So if I want to add a vehicle, so I add the vehicle, the picture, I import it from my PC as well. So I'm going to look at the examples that I have here. What's important when I create a vehicle is the number of seats. It's going to dictate how many persons can be registered with this vehicle. So at first there is always one driver, so if I add a driver here, so that's going to be me. I'm the driver, so anyone after this will be a passenger. So you see, I'm been added to the fire truck, and it's assigned to me. If I need to return it, I need to change it. It's not as fast as I want. I want the fancy Lamborghini. I need to tell what is the amount of kilometers, and I need to put a note. So that note can be from a predefined note, or I can write one as well. And I send my message here, and so I can reserve another car. So the reservation can be made from the app, but it can also be made from the dashboard. So if I click on my ID, so notice that when I click, there's a little green dot here that says that I'm available. So you have the status here with the colors available, busy, and the likes of it. When I click on it, the marker here comes as a turquoise color, and that's because I'm in this cluster. And you have my card here. With battery level, my exact location is showing here, and I have no cars, no car for the moment, so it's not showing in the card. If I so I was saying it's a cluster because if I zoom out, you're going to see the number 11 go to 12, and then it's going to cluster some more, as opposed to if I zoom in on it and I go to the more exact location, it's going to split up into checkpoints. So this is a checkpoint here, and some more checkpoints in this, and you have the location of the card. So that's the location of the card, the geolocation when I return the card. In this here, you have the other car and my card showing that I am available. So in the dashboard, there are filters here. For example, I left out the Geofence. So if I put the Geofence back on, it's going to show the Geofences that we have, and if I click on it, you have, so the Geofence is applicable to me, and it's a forbidden area. I should not be in this. And that's why when we go to the locations, the notifications here, you have the geofencing warning. I click on it and it's going to bring you to that geofence, telling me that it's forbidden, and the alerts that I received for it. So I have the same information when I click on your geofences here. So you have the geofence, the allowed geofence where I'm supposed to be, and the geofence warning because I entered an unauthorized zone here in red. But all this was to show you the dashboard filters, so I can remove the geofence. Same for the vehicles, the checkpoints. Sometimes if I have too many checkpoints, if you want some clarity, you can remove them as well. Some more things that we can do from the dashboard. So if I right click on a guard, I have some more options. I can message from the chat. I can assign a mission without having a prior Securithor event, so I can literally create a mission like this. I can request a signature or not. It can be a custom timeout. I can so the default that we made was 15, but I can give him more time to bring me to accept the mission. The start time, that can be now, but we can schedule this time at well, it could be tomorrow if I want, but I need that coffee now, so I'm going to send him now. And of course I can assign, so it can be a single employee when we send mission, but we can also send to multiple employees. So if I create a team, it can I can send the mission to several. There will always be a team leader, but the other guys will receive the mission as well. So if I send a picture with the mission, like okay, I send a floor plan here, and I upload it. That's going to upload to the FTP server, and that image will be joined with the mission. So we're going to see when we receive the mission that we can view this image. So as for the location, I have several choices. So I could do like search for a specific location, so I can just search on the map, or I could just right click on the map. The other thing that I could do is I could use the checkpoints. The checkpoints are the accounts that we have from Securithor. So think of checkpoint as an account from Securithor, but also the partitions, the sites. The site here is a partition from Securithor, and checkpoint is actually a place where we put one of the markers like NFC tag, barcode in this. So I can use this from Securithor. So when I send my mission, if I had an NFC tag, I could as well send it with the mission, but usually it makes more sense with the tour. So when I send this, it's actually sent to Securithor, so I have a new mission here, and my jobs here tell me that I have my new mission. I'm going to accept it. So the image that I sent is here. So it downloads the image from the server, and I have all the details, including the location, and I can get street by street in Google. It's going to be difficult because it's 5,000 kilometers in an ocean away from me. The location, in this case, that's a Frankfurt train station, and with site nodes that are actually the site nodes that we have in Securithor. So if we go to account 1236, this is actually the partition nodes that we have in Securithor, and our checkpoint at the end. So when I have a mission in MCB, what I can do is I can go there, and I will be tracked all along the way. So notice here in the dashboard that I'm now in orange, so that means that I'm busy, so that's the same thing that you have here. And if we go here on the side on the ongoing job, you have my my ongoing mission. And as you see, this is my current location. This is the location of the mission. I could cancel it and saying it's too far, but I will show you here. I can write my report. So if I am going, I will be tracked all along the way. And when I reach the destination, I can make a report from a predefined note. So or I could just write okay, check the pictures. And the picture is actually something that I can do from the phone. I am going to take a picture here. Use this one, and I'm going to upload my picture and my report and ending the mission at the same time. So it's going to upload to the server, so it's completed here. So if I go to the missions, you have my mission here, and so when your track, so in this case I'm talking to you sitting at my desk, so it's not going to be a lot of tracking, but this is where you would see it, and this would show you the picture that is uploaded with the mission. So this is the picture in question. In this section, it's in the jobs, it's always possible to make a report, make a PDF report out of it, and that PDF report will de facto show you the details of the mission, what we sent, the location, the report that I sent, and of course the attachment that is with it. So it's a bit the same thing when we send an event from Securithor, so that we're going to look at right now. So if I'm going to go to traffic, and I'm going to get, let's say this here. I have a thermal detection event. Here, oh, I already have an alarm processing here, so I'm going to send this one. So you have my distance from the site. The skill set that I was explaining when we were creating a user. So you have my skill set here. So if I need to filter, if I need, for example, someone that speaks French in this location, it's going to filter accordingly. Of course, do you need someone that is available, or do you need a team? That's also in the filters that you find in the alarm processing. So if I select myself, I send a note, and our alarm is actually object detected here. So go check the parking lot for intrusion or missing car. So the same as the previous mission, I can upload an image. So that image can be the fire routes, for example, here. So it's going to be uploaded to the server, same as we did previously. And then I'm going to send my mission to my guard. So the mission is actually now stored in the pending. It's actually here, the object detected, and in we're going to go into here, and we're going to go back to our jobs. There's the new mission. I'm going to accept it. So the image that I uploaded is here. So that's the fire routes that I created. And you see here in Securithor, mission was accepted by me. So again, the location of the mission, street by street, or I can jump to Google Map as well. The details of our location, and the detail of the alarm in this case. And the mission per se is here. Go check the parking lot for intrusion. So if I write my report in Securithor, so it can be from the predefined note, or I can write it myself. Okay, I talked to the owner who is taking over. Okay. So this is my note, my report. Actually, if I take my picture again, so I'm just taking the picture to show you how it will look when a picture is uploaded with the mission. And remember that my mission is actually here in the pending, so the alarm event is in the pending. So I'm going to send it to yes, I'm going to end the mission. So I'm going to send it back to Securithor. So my mission here is completed here. And when I do this, so when I click on this, it will bring back the alarm processing for this event. It opens the camera that are tagged with this specific alarm event. And notice that my event history here is in blue with the little icon for the police cap. It's because I have my my report that is showing here, and the image that I uploaded is also here in with the alarm event. So I can process my alarm event. It says here in French that everything is okay. I can insert my comment and finalize. When I finalize, it's asking me if I want to keep the recordings or not. Yeah, I can keep the recording to provide proof that nothing was out of the ordinary. So no more jobs to do here in my dashboard. I'm still asked to confirm my presence. So every 10 minutes, this is going to come up. One of the reasons we do this is we're going to look into this is so we add those geofences. So the geofences are here. The geofences are made in this case. So I'm going to look at the Monk Street one because this one is actually an authorized area. So that means that I have to be there from 12 to 8. Sorry, that's given from 12 to 8. I have to be there from 9 to 5. If I'm not inside that zone, it shows that I'm not. And to be sure that I did not leave the phone on the table and went away, I need to confirm my presence. So with this feature, what you can do is you can have guards in front of the bank from 9 to 5. And you can verify that they have the phone in hand and they are within the zone here. So no need to go around the sites or to call. You from the dashboard you see who is where, and as we saw previously when we looked at the Geofence, you know what is the Geofence for and who is assigned to that Geofence. In the actual Geofence, that the authorized Geofence is actually more here, it's where the office is. So just to show you that we can have predefined locations, so we can go from one map view to the other relatively easily. And if I want to create another one, I just need to add it. If I do Kuala Lumpur Stratel office, that can be from, I can search the location, so that would be this one here in Malaysia. It would zoom in on the location at Stratel. Zoom view, it's the same principle as when you set the default map. But I can also select from one of my checkpoints. I think I have, yeah, Stratel is in my checkpoints here. No partition, and here we go. And in this case, we're going to assign from here. So it creates this location. So we in fact have a geofence from Petaling Jaya, and I can switch from Montreal to Kuala Lumpur easily in this way. It's very useful if you have a very dense neighborhood. So let's say that you have a lot of accounts in Mexico City and you want to see from one neighborhood to the other, one barrio to the other, one colonia to the other. It's easier sometimes to have predefined locations this way. So that's Geofence that we saw here. So the cars that we saw. Let's have a look at the itineraries. So the itineraries are a collection of checkpoints from Securithor. So I'm going to look into the edit mode of this one. So I have one that is a preset with 3 checkpoints. So the checkpoints are accounts, so from Securithor, so that's account 1243, 1245. And I have some predefined information that is coming from Securithor, so name, partition is already there, so the emails are also coming from Securithor, they are in the account. Notes are coming from Securithor, but I can also add a new note on this checkpoint. If I have a tag that is already assigned to that checkpoint, it will show here. So in this case, I have an NFC tag. In the other here, it's a barcode or a QR code. On top of it, I also have the ability to select the signature. So if I know we're within working hours, I can request a signature from this site. And the last thing that I can select here is the set duration time. So the set stay duration time is here. In this case, I'm asking my patrolman to be there for 20 minutes. Multiple reasons for this. It can be that we have a contractual agreement with a customer to be there for a certain amount of time. It could also be that we know in this case that going through the 3 floors will take you at least 20 minutes. So if your job is, let's say, to go into the server room where we have the tag to verify the temperature of the server room, it might take a bit of time, so you can ensure that your patrolman actually does the job this way. This here, the follow itinerary means that if I select this, my patrolman will have to go through sites one after the other. If I don't, he can move things around, which is always a nice thing if you have issues like snowstorm or a roadblock that would make it easier to go from, let's say, one site directly to the other, or vice versa. Itinerary emails here, so if you want reports to go out upon completion of the checkpoint, this is where you're going to set your emails. So you can add emails and the description here. And when the tour is completed, it's going to send out this report. There are ways to select the email, so the email will actually be sent to the first site only, and then to the second one. So you can vary this along the way. So I have no changes made to my itinerary, so I will just send it so you see how it works. So I can dispatch it right now, or there are ways to create, so I can dispatch it as you see here right now, but there are ways to do a dispatch from the job list. So when I add the job list is this icon. When I add the job, it can be a mission. So the mission is what we did earlier. It's a single point. And if it's a tour, a succession of tour, here it is. We can select the itinerary and next here. And we can schedule that tour, so it can be right now, or it can be a recurring one, or it can be at a later time. So if I select started creation when the accept timeout will be, needs to be at least 8 minutes here. If it's not met, it's going to be returned to the operator. And duration, so I can set this tour takes at least 30 minutes to be done. So when I create the recurrence, it can be daily, it can be monthly, weekly. It could also be an interval, so if I want the tour to be done every hour, that can be this. So I can specify what is the end time of the tour. So if I have a contract for the next 2 months, it can be repeated every day for the next 2 months. And there is also the possibility to send it to put exception dates as well. But in this case, what we're going to do is we're going to go back here and we're going to dispatch it right now. So we have an overview of how it looks in the app. So the accept timeout will be 10 minutes in this case, and and I'm going to be the recipient. And it's sent. So when it's sent like this, it's going to come in the jobs. So I have a new tour request here, and I'm going to accept it. It says right away that I'm within 200 meters of the current checkpoint, so you have your location, you have the checkpoint. I have the list of checkpoints that I'm to do. I have to scan a tag, so that tag will actually be verified. Not sure if I have the exact tag for this location. Let me just yes, we'll make it. So check if I can scan that tag. I have the counter for my duration time that is going. I could swap my location for another one. So as I do not have the follow itinerary selected, so I could go to the next one as well. It gives you the relevant tag, so scan tag, so we know it's NFC. In this case, there's a signature that is needed. In the second location, it's not an NFC, it's a QR code or a barcode, so they're exactly the same. Let's see if I can scan this tag, if I have the right one. If I scan, this is the detail of the scan, and if I save it, okay, so my scan is done, and I can so I would need to wait for 18 minutes for this, so I can say it's complete. It's going to say that it's incomplete because I did not do the duration, and I can say no time to wait needed at second location. The signatory here, I need to add a signature, and in the case if I have an attachment, a picture, I could do it as well, and I create my report at the same time. So now I'm going to the second location, so you see my icon right here, and then I can do the same. So it's going to be the same until I reach the end of my tour, so I'm going to leave this for now and show you other features that we have in MCB instead. So reporting section, there is a very extensive reporting section in MCB based on various parameters. Mission tours, so it can be on the persons, but it can also be on the checkpoints that we're using. Some of the matrix here, the cards that we have, how they've been used, well, the time they were in maintenance and the likes of it. This is all that data that you can get from MCB. Some like Geofence, so if I have my geofencing infraction by guard, so every time I'm supposed to confirm my presence, so you have you know that if I've been good or not this way. So the same for the presence confirmation, it's going to show this way according to if I was very good at confirming my presence or not. On top of this, you have some matrix like the alarm mission timeline that will show all the process from the time we have an alarm in Securithor up to the time that we dispatch. In this case, that was developed mainly for fire trucks, so we have the time of rollout from the firehouse and time of arrival and time completion, and you have those matrix available for a complete mission from Securithor. Mission efficiency the same, and well, in this case I'm the only operator using it, but if you have several, you can know what is the performance of your operators in terms of dispatch. Some more things that you can find out: the location. So you can, for example, know the location of your employees based on time. You can, let's say, define a zone, see if anybody was within that zone at a specific time. So if your customer asks you to confirm, you have it here. But you can look at it based on missions. So, for example, me here. And the date here is on the 6th, so you know my missions. You can view the missions, the tracking of the missions as well. But you can also know the location based on the employee selection that I have here. And it's going to give you per day. So let's look at the day where I have more movement. So you actually see on the time scale where I was at that moment, where I was going, what's the direction. So you have the little arrow here, number of missions, number of tours during that day. So you have a pretty complete portrait of your employees this way. So to remember, the employee is not only a guard or a patrolman, but it can also be a technician, delivery guy. It can be someone, an alarm installer. So it's really just who is using the MCB app that we have here. And last main thing to look at. Oh, before we look at the tags, I'm going to show you where you write your predefined comments. So this is here in this section. So you can write a note, and that note can be applied to a multitude of situations. So if I'm writing a note to say makes funny noises, so that would be a predefined note just for the cars. So I select vehicle and that's it. So when I return a car, it will I will have this selection available. So if I return the car, I'm always asked to write the mileage or kilometers, and you have your selections from here. So in this case, I will just and I'm sending my report as well. So the tags are here. So there is a second application called TCB. There are two videos on YouTube. One is for using this section, and the other one is to use TCB app. So if you're sending someone with the TCB app, they're tracked along the way, and there is a completion, there is a registration of the tags, or no matter if it's an NFC or if it's an image like a barcode or a QR code. But what you can do is you can, from this location, so if I have, let's say, my account 1236, the partition is 0 here, and at the checkpoint I can, well, in this case I can edit location. The tag is actually a number. Even if you have NFC, so the NFC tag is basically a set of numbers like this. So I can use this, and I can copy it here in my. Here it is. I think we should not have space. Here we go. Do I need to put some notes? And here it is. It's saved. It's in the account. So when you send your guide to the location, the number of the tag is matched to the one that you register here. So again, you can send someone with the TCB app, or you can just send the tag to your customer by mail or pickup. So that concludes the main tour of MCB. So there is another MCB that is completely standalone, that is not using Securithor as a database. In this case, you're going to have more icons here in order to fill the accounts, but it's basically going to be the same as what you have in Securithor. Just one thing that I'm told that I forgot to show you in the account management in Securithor. So the location that we have in MCB of the checkpoint is actually coming from this here in the Securithor account. So let's look at how we do this. So I'm going to go to the Frankfurt train station. Yeah, here in Google Map, and my second floor office is actually here. So I'm going to right-click on the exact location, and I'm going to click on the geolocation. It's going to copy it on the clipboard. And so if I go back to Securithor, that's actually the location that I have here. So if I copy it here and I save it, that's the location that will be used in Securithor. It's the one that we have here in the LiveMap as well, the LiveMap that is made by our tech partner Pro1. So if I go to the Frankfurt train station, it's this location here, and that will show you this location on the LiveMap, but that's also what we're using in the dashboard of Securithor, of MCB. So do I have no, I don't have. So Frankfurt HBF. So if we have Frankfurt HBF is actually here, so this is the location of our checkpoint in Frankfurt. Oh, I'm just told that there is something that I forgot, and that's going to be here in LiveMap. So if I go to a panic signal that I have here, and I click on the MCB icon, it will show you the location of somebody that is available. So I'm going to complete my mission by canceling it, so I become available. Predefined notes, snowstorm. Okay, here we go. So we're canceling the mission from here. Within I'm now available, and so that means that if I click on the panic button, I should be, yes, I'm available. I'm 12 meters from that panic button here, and I can respond to it. So if I respond to it in the patrol dispatch, I'm the one that will be tasked to go help that person. So it's really integrated, MCB and Securithor. If you have any more questions, more in-depth question, or question about how to use it for your application, be sure to write us at securithor@mcdi.com, or to reach us at through Skype, MCDI-HQ, and a few of you already have our WhatsApp. Thank you. Have a good day.